kinds of bloodshed and violence all over the world is being organized, directed, and financed by the United States government and the British government together. Britain and America are the reason for the violence and the chaos that we're seeing throughout the world today. And Yugoslavia has all been planned. This is all part of something that the United States is doing in the Middle East right now, and Yugoslavia is going to pay for it. Again, we have the double square. All right. Here is the double square Freemasonry worn by the Queen. And this square is, the Masonic square is referred to as the Knights of Malta square. This one is the British square Freemasonry. The Knights of Malta, you'll see it's like four little triangles coming together, but they don't actually have a point in the middle. It's just a round or a nothingness in the middle. You'll see that again in Arco, where the four little points come together, but nothing in the middle. The Knights of Malta is, the square of Knights of Malta is the pyramid from the top, looking down on the pyramid of Egypt without the capstone. That's because, remember, on the dollar bill, the capstone is not connected to the body of the pyramid. So here is flying over the top of the pyramid, looking down on the Great Pyramid, you don't have a point, because the chief cornerstone is not on the pyramid. And I just threw this in, I don't know why, but I did. Here's Under Life in Fascism. I wanted to make the point about political symbols. We hear a lot of people talking on radio and television about fascism and how bad the fascists are, and fascism this and fascism that. Well, in most cases, fascism or fascists have come to power after the nation has suffered an economic collapse. Are we having problems economically or what? Right? A military defeat, Vietnam, and some other disaster. The fascist party wins mass support by promising to revive the economy and restore national pride. And that's exactly what the government's saying today. They need to restore national pride. Get Clinton in there to be president. And no one seems to realize Bill Clinton, as a Rhodes Scholar, trained in England and London, England, and Oxford University, bought and paid for by the Rockefeller Foundation, financed and organized his education. He is nothing more than a yes man for the power elites in this country. They want another candidate because he looks good. Personal liberties are severely limited under a fascist government, which is, I'm saying that's what we have here. And the government also controls newspapers, the radio, and other means of communication. That's why I'm not on nationwide television, right? And it issues propaganda to promote its policies, and boy, this government does that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. This is interesting. A secret police force crushes any resistance. I like the word crush, because that's what they do. You get in their way, they come out and beat your brains out, right? So,
So welcome back. You're watching the Econ TV episode number 6. It's about the Freemason, Illuminati, symbology, you name it, which is not strictly Illuminati and Freemason and symbology. Is kind of deeper than that. But what you just watched was based on Jordan Maxwell's research, and we were just talking about the other things. First of all, Jim, do you want to add something about what you just heard? Because you just listened. Sorry, you couldn't.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but how about you there?
Well, I think one thing that's interesting is like that movie came out with Tom Hanks, and I think that kind of distorted things and sent people in a lot of different directions. And you know, I just kind of woke up in the last year or
Which
so.
movie was that?
That is Angels and Demons was the second one, and the first one was The Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code, yes.
And, you know, it was kind of like disinformation.
Yeah, disinformation. Thank you so much.
You know, my mom was like, oh, this is just popular now because of those movies, you know, and I was like, no, there's more to this stuff. You know, I think it's, you know, it's all around us, you know, it's like, you know, any shape, you can take a shape and see that shape,
Yep.
you know, and tie it back to those ancient links.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And there was a very interesting point in the clip that you just watched. Some of the symbology explains that how the hidden shadowy power control the world. You saw that they talked about this double the square sign and symbols that Freemasons and Illuminatis and also the royal family, British family, use. The first square is the order, the second one is disorder. They talk about the chevron sign and even the sergeant
Patch.
yeah, sergeant patch in the army. It's the same thing. And the other thing is actually the house of Mecca in or Kaaba, the cubic house in Mecca. That has two parts also. Is divided by two with basically Quranic verses around it. So that also looks very familiar. The first cube represents order, the second one disorder. So lots of these ancient buildings are very Masonic. And when we say Masonic, obviously Masons work on what? Buildings. They're the builders of the society as well. So no wonder that you see the same pattern in the society. The society that they design looks exactly like an incomplete pyramid. The masses are at the bottom. You go up and you have higher levels, and you go to the top, which the elites are located on the top of the incomplete pyramid. And I was just talking about the elites comes from the light and again bright things, and on the top of the incomplete pyramid, on the dollar bill, you see what? The seeing eye, or the Horus, which was the sign of sun, the brightest thing in our solar system. So if you take a look at their other things in the society, one of the good examples is the MLM scheme, or multi-level marketing. What people do in this kind of marketing, such as, for instance, Primerica did it, other corporations,
Avon Products
did it.
Shackley Corporation,
Yes.
Vitamins.
Yes.
It's called pyramid, a
Scheme.
pyramid structure, right?
Yes.
A pyramid scheme, yes.
Yes, and then what do you do actually? All you do at the end is feeding the big fat cat on the top. So that's the whole thing. Anything to add? Because I guess we don't have much of time, especially without the TV.
Well, I just want to say, in multi-level marketing, you're feeding each level a little more than the lowest level. The lowest levels is buying the product.
Yep.
And the other levels are supplying the suppliers to of the end product. So at each level they make more money and more money. So it's very motivating structure that, needless to say, globalists and businesses have learned.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's why most of them carry the name global. Most of these pyramid schemes carry the name global because globalists actually designed them. If the third clip is ready, Sam, please run that for us, because I don't think we have much of time. So we can explain more after watching the third clip.
So, in other words, these guys
we can
print
see.
the money, they run the country, and they own you, and they own everything around it. And so they make the laws, and that's why they can decide who can kill who, and who can get away with who, and who can get away with whatever, because they make the laws and they decide, all right? The new order of the world, our enterprise is now a success. As I said to you before, there are 13 layers of this pyramid. There are 13 letters in Enoch Coeptus. We'll get into that, all of this symbolism later. But 13 is a very important number to this secret society. The 13